Five Morrison, and this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem, you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, with your co-host, Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez. Hold on a second. Let me one more mute. I am going to, there we go. Let's see. I'm not getting any comments yet on my pop-up here. That's fine. They're coming up now. Bam. There we go. Okay. Let's see how this is working. Oh, there we go. SQ Sounds out of Bridgetown, Barbados. He just popped in. Okay, cool. I'm starting to see the comments now. All right, Jeffrey, I'm going to start sharing while we're waiting for Jimbo.
Genevei.
Yeah, Jimbo is what most people know him as.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about this last weekend for you, sir?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, first of all, I just wanted to tell you that unfortunately I didn't win the Powerball, so I'm here today. I was so hoping, if I'm gonna win, I'm gonna announce it on the podcast and say how I'm the $2 billion winner. But sadly, that didn't happen to me, and then I had to go back to work the next day. So
yeah,
but
it was out of California, right down by where your old house was.
Bummer, man. I was like, was I over that way?
No, you had to double check, huh?
I had to double check just to make sure. So yeah, I had a show this weekend. It was at Crossfire Car Audio. We had a triple point event sponsored by Brobox. But in addition to the DbDrag event, we had T.W.I.C.A who came out. Anita Salas from South Texas. I think she says it was like 6 hours away, came up. Her show was sponsored by the Texas Tornadoes. They're a group, an audio team out there. But it was a fun show. It was a crisp 50-degree sunny weather out there. It was so cold, but
that's tough for you Texas boys.
Yeah,
and
so
SoCal too, right?
Exactly. 50 degrees. So I told everybody, bring a hoodie, some gloves. Luckily, though, Roger at Crossfire had to hook up. One of his neighbors owns a beverage cart. So they actually were at the show during the summer months, they were selling shaved ice. But during the winter months, they serve hot cocoa, lattes, hot chocolate. So Roger had him out there, and for all the competitors, you each received a free coupon for a free drink, and luckily that kind of warmed things up for the competitors. Yeah, it was pretty fun. A lot of action in base race again. I think it's just base race central. Hopefully we'll get like the Tennessee guys and get like Texas base racers, but all of the guys in the 20s class qualified with a 129.9. So I mean, once you see that, it's like action's gonna heat up. So it was kind of the usuals in the finals, or I should say like the top three guys. It was Louis TVC, it was Eric Hansen, both of which were 2022 world finalists in base race. And then there was Alan Ray. He's a local guy out there doing base race. And man, it went all the way down to Eric and Alan, and they actually tied. And they had to get ready, and how it's all automated,
right?
Well, when the time ticked down, Eric he forgot to turn down his volume. So right when it counted
busted out.
down, boom, it was like, yeah, 130 out the gate. He overshot, and then Alan, who's he does really well, but he just when he comes down to the finals, he always has a little bit of trouble, and then always ends up taking second or third. But he ended up winning it this past Saturday, and then not only that, he ended up winning $100 of Rogers money. So
everybody loves Rogers money.
Everybody loves Rogers money. So I mean, he was just ecstatic, really happy. I think this is like one of the first times he's won in base race. So like I tell people, you never know, what could happen in the lanes, and you ended up winning. So that was really cool.
All right, as we get into this thing, before we even get started, I got to show you guys this video.
Hold on.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just guessing on the screens on the left here, guys. So it was a pure guess. That's why Jeffrey and I aren't. Here, let me make a quick adjustment here. I'm going to get Jeffrey in frame here. There we go. Let me go adjust mine real quick. Anyway, this is a video of, was it T.W.I.C.A World Finals or IASCA World Finals or something like that?
It was Mecca and IASCA.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't compete in those organizations, so it's difficult for me to remember. Anyway, so I'm going to play this video. You guys should be able to hear the audio and everything. Oops. There you go. You guys can't hear it or see it, Jeffrey, because I didn't share the page. But if you watch it back, so that was the first view of from head on. This is a Gorman Cassidy's car. He blew out his side window this weekend, and right there was it blowing out, and it actually hit the screen, the TV screen, and knocked it out, and killed the TV screen.
Killed the TV screen.
Dude, that's awesome. And then here's another view of it. And then one final view of just watching it blow out, I think. Nope, that was it. So that's on the DbDrag. That's on the DbDrag.
I think Wayne put a little
that's Wayne's video
together.
That's Wayne's video.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Multiple angles.
Yep, that's the one we were just watching. So Tiffany says she saw this video is awesome. Tristan says I watched this video like 6 times last night. Said it was amazing. Mario Anthony Perella, that was crazy. Talk about pressure. Well, the windshield doesn't break, so now the next thing to break is going to be the side windows.
Next week is paint.
Yeah, so let's get into this thing a little bit right now. One more thing before we get started. Keep your thoughts and prayers with Nathan Munson. He went and got his kidney transplant from his nephew, I believe. It's either his nephew or his cousin. I think it's his nephew. Got a kidney transplant. Everything went good. He's just really sick right now and is going to have to change his diet up a little bit. But other than that, he's doing really well. And, for a quick, strong recovery, we all hope for Mr. Nathan Munson.
Yes.
And then thank you again to our sponsors. Let's start us off with our sponsors, Stolman Transportation, LLC, Crossfire Car Audio. We have Lots of Watts Lifestyle Apparel, and Puns Customs, our guest last week. So with all that base race things that was going on, our guest today is, hold on, wait, I don't want to get this wrong. Julius Mac Daddy Johnson, the real Mac Daddy, chiming in. Team Mini says he's late. Let me go back here to Facebook, and I want to actually be very clear on what it, okay. So our guest today, 10-time DbDrag world champion, 2 times in DbDrag. I'm guessing Super Street X.
Yeah.
3 times in base race. I'm guessing 49.9 or 59.9.
59, yeah.
Okay. Twice in Top Dog. and three times in Top Dog and twice in freestyle, and yet the guy is a whopping, what are you, 21 years old or 20 years old?
I just turned 22.
He just turned 22.
Wow.
Everybody knows him as Jimbo, but how do you actually say your name?
Genevei.
Jimvei, right?
Yep.
There you go. But everybody knows him as Jimbo, which is actually the vehicle that he competes with.
Yes.
Hey, how about you tell us a little bit about that vehicle?
Oh man, that vehicle's got so much backstory. So
It does.
Clay was the one that originally built it. I don't God knows how long ago. There's lots of videos of him on YouTube demoing that thing. He used to compete with that thing. So he would drive that vehicle to every show, never trailered it. So the whole point of that vehicle when he built it was never meant to be a trailer queen. It was meant to be driven to every show.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. We trailer it. I'm not driving the vehicle 36 hours. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not driving that vehicle 36 hours. Other than that, it's just got a lot of history. I think it's got some cool stories it could tell. On the front bumper, actually. Team Rip Rock. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with them.
Well, they won't come on the show because they don't want to talk about car audio anymore.
What?
They talk a little bit about car audio. They might, there's a little bit of talk, but nothing serious. But way back in the day, there's this little dent on the front bumper of Jimbo if you look at it, and it's actually Clay accidentally hit the trooper.
Well, the trooper nothing happened to the trooper, I'm sure. That thing was a solid tank.
It's a tank for sure.
But there is this little mark on the front bumper from where he hit the trooper, which was really funny.
Okay. So the car, what kind of subs? How many subs? Amplifier, battery power, alternator? What do you got going on in that thing?
So it's an '89 GMC Jimmy. It's got 8 15s in it with 4 DC 10Ks, and then it's got 8 of the B2 60 amp hour lithiums in it with 3 GM large case alternators.
Okay. Speaking of you Canadian folk, Canadians.
Nations,
yes.
Yeah. I never heard that term before.
There are a lot of people of Chinese descent in Canada, from what I understand. So
there's a lot of people.
Yes. Speaking of that, I talked to Don Hebig today, and he'll be coming back on the show when we can work out a little bit of time, probably beginning of December.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we love our Canadian brethren.
Yes.
You guys are a great time. You guys usually come down. We've talked about on the show a lot of times about Autorama. You guys make it down to Autorama quite a few, probably like 5 or 6 times maybe?
I've been once for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think
your dad's come just to judge and do other things.
Steve's gone a couple different times on his own too, I believe.
Steve's
or
come.
Team Mini, I guess.
Yeah, Team Mini, as most people know him. Yeah. No, that like I said, the Canadian guys, during the pandemic, it was real difficult to get across the border, so it kind of limited you guys. Gave you extra time to work on stuff. Did you do anything to the vehicle?
We removed the center console. We changed all the batteries. So originally we were running the XS. We were running 18 XS power Group 51s is what we were originally running for battery power. So we swapped that all to lithium to the B2 60 amp hours.
Would that save you like 300 pounds?
300 pounds.
Oh my goodness! Sure. It's like an actual 90-day difference driving that thing. So I drive it to like our local shows, right? But like, you put your foot into the gas pedal all the way to the floor. You're like a snail, man. It's better. You're still a snail, but it's a lot better. It's a lot less weight, so it drives so much better. So we did that, and then as well as we removed the center console.
Right. Cool.
Center console was, I don't know. You all saw it. It was almost a dB gain.
Oh, is that what it was? A dB gain by removing it?
Pretty close. Yeah, it was pretty close to a dB gain removing the center console.
Oh, by removing it?
Yeah. So there's probably pictures and videos that float around. There used to be the center console, and it had 4 6.5s in it, and that's where all the component amplifiers were mounted, and that's where the radio was, and all the gauges and everything like that. So we took it out, made our own phase cover for the dash to mount the radio and all the gauges and everything like that. And yeah, it was pretty much a dB gain.
Okay.
Wow.
No, that's cool. So, we can't have this whole discussion about competing and all that stuff without talking about your pre-shot routine. So, in bowling, we do the pre-shot routine. You absolutely have a pre-competing routine, just like Gracie did. Gracie had something very similar. But why don't you walk us through yours?
Oh man.
Well, we're trying to make people better, right? So this is what you do to get in the zone to compete, and obviously it's worked. You have 10 titles, right? So
I mean, a lot of it is a lot of it is just getting out of your own head. It base race and top dog is that game is 100% mental game. I mean, there's even like if you go back and look at the videos that Wayne posted on the YouTube channel, you could come up like for the top dog run. You could see I don't remember who the competitor was, but someone came up to me and was trying to get in my head. And I literally just wasn't even paying attention to him. I was just looking at my radio, setting everything where it needed to be, double, triple, quadruple check the volume to make sure you don't blow over or are starting at a way too high of a volume. Bass knob's always just wherever the bass knob's going to be. And then, just you got to clear your own mind, just relax as much as you can. Even though it doesn't look like I'm relaxed, I am. It literally just consists in through the nose, out through the mouth, a couple times of that, triple check radio again before I give the thumbs up, and then, you're good to go.
Yeah. And then, ignore the judge, right? That's the key.
Yeah. I try not to listen to anything outside of what I'm doing. So there are some people that will stay true to this or agree with this, but hearing what your vehicle is doing is a big part in knowing exactly what your number is going to be. Or it is for me, at least. That's why I'm always touching some part of my vehicle to feel what the vehicle is doing. Because you can, when you got like almost 30 dB headroom, one volume click is,
significant.
Like even a little bit on the bass knob is an exponential jump. So you can feel it in the vehicle, right? It's important to me, at least.
Yeah. Spencer Staniland says for
Spencer
him,
Stanland? Yes.
He says for him, it's remembering to take the seat out.
Yes, that has happened a couple times at our show. He'll forget to take the seat out.
Yeah. So we got a
that'll cost you some dBs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, huge.
So from Bridgetown, Barbados, Tristan, he wants to know when did you start competing?
You know what? I think I was like, it was before I could drive. So before I could get my learners. So in Canada, you get your learners at 14. I think I want to say I was like 12.
Okay.
I want to say I was like 12 or 13.
And
12 or 13 is probably pretty
And what
guess.
was your first show, and what did you do as far as competing wise?
So this is when we got Jimbo, actually, because Clay sold us Jimbo. It still had Realm audio equipment in it and stuff like that. Like it had, this was a long time ago. But I want to say my first show was a show in Calgary. That was one of the first shows I remember competing at, for sure. Yeah, I definitely want to say that was probably the first show.
Okay.
I want to say it was 12. I want to say I was 12.
12 years old. And did you win?
Yeah. Well, what's your definition of win? I mean, in DbDrag, I did win. Top Dog, I don't think was a thing then yet.
No, it wasn't.
Base race, it was at that point when we got Joe. It wasn't doing over a 60 when we got it. Had Realm audio stuff that we just threw in there, and I think it was doing like a 58. So at that point in time, base races just hit it and quit it. All knobs to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julius says, "Oh yeah, you got to feel it." And that's true for guys that are base racing and stuff, because you can hear and feel minor differences.
100%.
Chris Jenner out here from California says last year was fun, great battles when you came to visit us.
It was very competitive in Top Dog last year, from what I remember.
Yes.
It was a very tight run.
Yes, and Tyler Archer, you might know that guy. He says,
Yes,
"Mr. Choy, that's your daddy."
Yes,
That's my father.
Yeah.
So speaking of your dad, so okay, we all know it's Ray Choy. Was he a big influence in getting you started into competing, or did he like force it onto you? Or
No. he was definitely a big part of it. So I mean, he owns his own custom car audio shop, which is FX Audio.
Right behind him.
Yes. Uh, as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to go to the shop and hang out there and, talk to customers or, be part of whatever they're building at the time. And I remember he had his Justy and his Bronco. That's kind of like I used to hang out. I wasn't like old enough to compete or anything like that. Barely old enough to remember it, but I remember it. And that was kind of like what sparked it for me. And then, he has 6 kids. So
Yep.
when we had my little brother,
So,
he had to stop for a couple of years.
speaking of the 6 years or 6 kids, which one are you? Are you the oldest, the
I'm
youngest?
the middle child.
You're in the middle.
I'm the third. I'm third.
Oh,
Yes.
the middle.
Okay.
I'm
so,
the middleman in
so
this
do
one.
any of the older or younger kids bring it up? Are they gonna become part of the car audio like you, or no?
No, they don't have an interest in it. So I mean, I have 4 sisters, and it's myself and then my one younger brother. My brother, maybe he's kind of talked about it a little bit.
How young? How old is he?
He's at that age where he wants to just play video games, though, so I can't knock him for
yeah.
it.
Well, I got a 22-year-old that just wants to play video games, so I don't know what the how young is thing.
He's 14.
Okay.
14.
No, that's good. So for you people, I'm sure most people understand that Canada is not no Barbados. So it gets cold there. So what
yeah.
really is your car audio season up there?
Typically starts in June, July, and then the end of it for us is October. That's when it ends.
July to October?
Yeah.
It's not like Texas where you just go have shows twice a month all year round, right?
No.
It's funny.
No.
It's funny you mention that because Julius Mac Johnson III.
This guy right here?
Yeah, that guy. I think it was late in the season last year, and he was like, "Oh man, I gotta get these points." We got to Jimbo, coming out of nowhere, and I'm like, "Wow, that's because they were in hibernation, during the winter,
Right?
Yes.
And then now they're just like getting all these shows going." So yeah,
well, for us, like typically we don't normally have as many shows as we did. We were having shows every other week, pretty much is what it consisted of, and it was not just one; it was 3. Canadian finals this is the first time we've had Canadian finals since I think it was 2019 is when we lost our like satellite location. So we were making a really big push to try and get all the base heads within our area enough points to try and come compete at Canadian finals.
Gotcha.
So that was the reason we had such a big push. We'll see what happens next year, though.
So Julius Mac Johnson III says the third is always the best.
The third is always the best.
According to Mac Johnson III, I'm Douglas III. I got to agree, kind of.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I'm the third child. You're Douglas III, Julius Mac Johnson III. I see trend,
That's right. So, yeah. So, okay. So you guys do a big push for points. How was your Canadian finals?
It was actually not bad. It was overall pretty good. A couple of falls. Unfortunately, there were some competitors that didn't have as good of a time. But I mean, the stress of a ring, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what I want to roll it down to. Overall, I think we had for us, this is a lot of people. I think I want to say we had 30 cars.
Oh, good.
Which isn't bad. I mean, it's pretty small compared to your guys' events. You guys way too many cars, but 30 for us.
Way too many. Tyler Archer says he had fun.
Yeah.
Dustin Bulger asked this question. Jimbo, how many years have you been competing? You said you started at 12, give or take. So that would say about 10 years, right? So that's one championship per year. Roughly.
It worked out like that. Pretty close, yeah.
But okay, so what is your definitely your most what's your most memorable show you've ever been to?
Most memorable show.
Yep.
Oh. I kind of want to say finals.
Which finals?
This finals, like the one that we were just at in
Oh,
in
wow.
Okay,
Owensboro.
so a little add on to other people's FOMO that didn't go to World Finals this year.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
honestly, like to have an experience like that is so awesome. Like it's just you can't match it. Like the energy from finals in Owensboro versus finals last year when we were in Alabama and California, right, with the split locations. It's totally different. Like the one location that's super massive, everyone's there, meeting everybody. It was just so cool. There was a lot of cool people out there. Good stuff, right?
Yep. And the competitor party and all the other stuff. Because
Yeah.
you've never been to a single location finals prior to that, right?
Oh, no, not no. I haven't. Every finals I've been to before that has had a satellite location.
Yep. Tyler Archer said he never had one good certified run, but the memories will last a lifetime. So that I'm sure it's talking about the Canadian finals there. So, but no, that's I mean, so if this was the best finals that or this the best show you've ever been to this finals, it was just the party and the people that you get together with and that kind of thing, or I mean, what did anything like stick out? So normally for people that don't know him very well, so his dad is one of our judges, and I would say he's definitely one of our head judges for all of DbDrag. We like to discuss with him when we do all the rules and all that stuff. And anyway, so Jimbo here, as you call him, he comes to have dinner with us and hangs out with us. But I will say this year, he was nowhere to be found, at least as far as the judges were concerned. So
Yes.
Well,
Uh,
well, I think oh, he
I
just
was
turned
legal.
21. He
I
was
was
legal.
legal to go to the bar finally.
yeah,
Yeah, honestly, I think the greatest memory that the reason to being why this final is the best and most memorable is just getting to be with everybody, even if
Mhm.
it was somebody that I didn't know prior to and I just met them. Like everyone was so friendly and so welcoming. Like there didn't feel like there was hardly any ill will, if that makes sense.
was it like they were all Canadian or something?
Yeah. Minus the sorry or the minus the I'm sorry in every other sentence. It was literally
Yeah.
just like everyone was Canadian.
yeah, because those Canadians are sorry for everything.
Are
Yes, we
they?
are.
So, but no, that's awesome. I'm glad you had a great time. I think it was like I said. For me, it wasn't my best World Finals, but it was definitely awesome. It was a great time. I really like to hark back to meeting Muhammad Ali at World Finals. That was awesome.
Did you
Uh,
meet Muhammad Ali at World Finals?
yeah.
What?
Oh, that's right. You don't watch this show all the time. Anyway, we actually had one of the guys in the chat here. He posted a picture, and me and the twins were just hanging out in the bar downstairs, and I'm like, dude, it's the great one. And they're like, what the hell? I'm like, no, dude, it's the great one. It's the great one. And everybody looked at me like it's crazy. I was like, no, it's Muhammad Ali. And then all of a sudden, like a whole bunch of people went up, got pictures, and he sat down there for like half hour, 45 minutes and talk to us. So, but yeah, that was awesome. You know,
Cool experience for sure, right?
oh yeah, that's and I really, I met Willie Mays. I met Earl Campbell, which was one of my favorite football players of all time. I mean, he stopped playing. He's probably inducted in the Hall of Fame before you were born. Uh, that's how long ago he was. He would played in the '70s. He was a phenomenal football player. I met him. Shoot, um, a bunch of the Hall of Fame baseball players from Anaheim Angels. So I met all these like sports stars and movie stars and stuff. Not as many as Jeffrey though. I mean, Jeffrey's a movie star himself, so he meets all them people.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff. I met Mary Poppins, whatever her name is, Julie Andrews, one time.
Oh, okay.
Because I've done a lot of stuff at Disneyland, whether it be work there for remodeling or
Oh,
been
okay.
there. I used to hang out there when I was a kid, so we'd see a lot of. at that time there was Disney Studios also at Disneyland. So, um, but anyway, yeah. So I mean, and I've never been starstruck before until I met Muhammad Ali. So I will say that one was different. So that was awesome. I mean, Willie Mays, when I met him, I didn't even know who he was. I'm like, hey, my dad told me to come over here and get your autograph. And he signed. He said, Willie Mays. I was like, I don't know who you are, but my dad says this is an important autograph.
Dad said it was important, so it's got to be important, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, and then I met him like 2 years later, and I knew who he was, and at that point, I learned who he was. So that was kind of cool because he used to golf a tournament in Reno, and at that point in my life, I golfed quite a bit with my dad. So all right, let's see here what he says. Doug and Jeffrey, I can't ask Jimbo if he had a Radio Shack subwoofer as his first subwoofer. At his age, he would be more of a Rockford or a Kicker baby. So what was your first subwoofer?
My first subwoofer was a DC-12. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. Well, yes and no. It was a Audio Mobile 10, and then it was a DC level 112.
Okay, and that's in a different vehicle other than Jimbo?
Yeah, so my first ever vehicle that I physically got to drive was a little Dodge Neon.
Okay.
And we built a box with a sealed box with the single 10 Audio Mobile with the two M cars, so the two passes. And then it did musically it was sounded really good, which is all I cared about at the time. And then
you learned about base race.
Yes, and I'm like, it would not base race. So we built a box for level 112.
All right. So were you building that stuff, helping your dad, or was your dad building it and you were helping install, or how did that all get going?
At that age, I was pretty young, so I wasn't doing any installs or anything like that. Dad was building the boxes. They did the installs. I learned about the installs. Still knew how to run all my own equipment and everything like that. Now I'm definitely part of the installs and the builds.
Okay. No, that's...
Now that you could grip a cordless drill.
Now I can actually grip some tools and,
So is your plan to take over your dad's business at some point when he decides to retire and whatnot? And
yeah, that's the tentative plan. That'd be really, really nice. I'd like to, at least. I have a joy for this. I like building car audio stuff. I don't know. I like doing dumb stuff.
Okay, so then do you have a girlfriend?
I do, yeah.
You do? How can you have a girlfriend and a car audio? Those things don't go together.
Easily. Not very easily. She supports...
Maybe he hasn't told her yet.
Oh no, she's well aware. She's well aware. She supports my addiction, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My car audio addiction.
No, definitely is. It's an addiction, and anybody that gets into it in any way, shape, or form, they will tell you right away that it is an addictive thing. Especially once you compete. It's nobody likes to be not first, because if you're not first, you're last, right? So
Ricky Bobby.
That's right. So nobody likes to be last, and the ability, if you even have reasonable intelligence, in my opinion, you can be a formidable competitor. It's not like the smartest guy wins. Now, when you're talking DbDrag, but base race and top dog, it's the one who can control themselves the most is going to win. But in DbDrag, that there is big pockets, big brains.
Yes, 100%. There's a lot of math and physics that go into building a loud burp machine. 100%.
And like we've mentioned on this show before, your dad, definitely a super smart guy. No doubt that you got some of that smarts. I've never met your mom, but I'm sure she's not too dumb, considering I'm sure your dad didn't marry down like that. Guys that are smart usually marry up, So
I would like to say my mom is pretty smart.
Good.
Not book smart, but very street smart.
Okay.
That's where I got my street smarts from.
That's good. So what are your plans? Like, just you're gonna ride the Jimbo thing forever, or build a new vehicle, or what?
So there was like we were talking about like, building a different vehicle, but I mean, and like no one understands like the cost, like the physical cost and time it takes to get a vehicle to where, like if we
Oh yeah.
wanted to build another Jimbo, like to get it to the point where it's where Jimbo is right now, the amount of dollars and
Yeah.
hours that would have to go into this, it would be ridiculous. So for us right now, there's no point in rebuilding another vehicle. I
Gotcha.
still have fun. I'm not looking to be the loudest guy in DbDrag. That was never my intention. That's the two rings I have in that are pretty much sheer luck. Same with freestyle. Like Dante gave me that ring this year, and I'm very grateful for it. But as long as I'm competitive in base race and top dog, I'm having a fun time. Man, even just going up, throwing up a number in the lanes for DbDrag is good too. Personal best. That's always my goal.
There you go. Tiffany, she's one of the ones out of Barbados. Her husband is Tristan. She says, that's not true. You can absolutely have a partner and be involved in car audio. I disagree. Ask my wife. So what happens with me, and I'm sure with Jeffrey, well, no, I think your wife still does some stuff, right, Jeff?
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
my
yeah.
wife was very involved when I first started doing the car audio thing, and she's so over it now.
She's like, no.
Yeah, 22 years later or whatever it is, she's so over it. As a matter of fact, what's 2 weeks or 3 weeks? It's our 30th anniversary, so.
Oh, good for you guys. Congratulations.
Yep. They wanted to do the annual Nyman Mellows Auto Toys for Tots on that weekend, and I told them I'm pretty sure my wife's not going to go for me doing a Toys for Tots on our 30th anniversary weekend.
She would not be too happy about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So she's going Rosita, Moses, me and Tristan, tons of other audio couples out there. I believe there are audio couples out there, but they aren't as prevalent as non-audio couples.
It's rare,
Yes,
but
I will
it's
agree with that.
there. It's
It is. Spencer says that he's waiting for those 15 inches. So what's
Spencer
that?
Stanland?
Yes.
Okay.
So are
don't
you
know which
switching some subwoofers out to 15s, or are you supposed to give him your 15s, or what's that about?
He talked about wanting to take the 15s off my hands. I said, no.
No? Come on, switch it
No.
out to 18s.
There is no room. So the 15s that we have in there right now, to get them into the wall, we had to do some light modification.
Okay. Did you
Cut
have
some
to trim
frames.
the
No
baskets?
15s.
Yeah, trim the
Uh,
baskets.
No, we trimmed the car.
Oh, you trimmed the car.
Yeah, so the wheel wall, it's a 6-order bandpass, so it's 4 subs on each side of the wall. On the driver's side, to get the bottom subwoofer in on the wall,
Uh-huh.
I had to use a hammer and convince the wheel well that subwoofer was going in there.
I've been there. I may have massaged a wheel well or two in my time.
Yes.
Yeah. No, Jeffrey will tell you. So back in the days, to stuff woofers, we would cut the frames, right? So we cut the
Oh, really?
basket.
Still do it now.
Yeah.
Still do it
That
now.
basket might be a 1/4 inch shorter on 4 sides of it. Just saying.
As long as it fits at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
And still structurally sound.
Yep. And so we would stack, like we would overlap some of the surrounds, and we started doing that, and then we started trimming them, and it's kind of involved a little bit. Tristan says, oh, so it seems that I am a lucky guy in the game then, that his wife's so involved. And she's super involved.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their business. It's not his. She takes care of that and the kids. And so that's cool. I mean, more power to them. That's awesome that you can have somebody that's a partner in this, for sure.
Yeah, it's good to have support.
So has she gone to any shows with you or anything?
I've been to a couple. She herself is not super into the car audio thing, but she still supports it regardless. She'll come hang out.
Do you let her be the hair trick judge or the hair trick girl or anything?
Oh, she is not for that. She is absolutely not having any of that.
Oh no.
So I remember at one of our 3X events, I was doing my freestyle run, and she was only like 3 parking stalls away from where the judge's tent was, where we were competing, and the driver's door was partly cracked open. And she said being that far away was more than enough for her. She said it was too loud.
So she's not getting any demos from you anytime soon, huh?
No, but that's okay. She still supports me regardless, and that's all I care about.
That's
Yeah.
good. Another place you guys might see Jimbo often is he's been to Surf City a few times. So,
Yeah, I've been to surf once.
well, once, only
Once, yeah.
once.
Yeah.
Yep. And how was that experience?
Oh man, busy, so busy.
Mm.
So I'm for me and my dad, our thing is that we're always late. We're running on Choy time, as we call it.
That's what-
So we were going to Surf City, and we were on track to be on time.
No, you weren't.
And our tow vehicle ended up having a total catastrophic failure. So we were about 2 hours away from Spruce Grove. So we got our vehicle towed back to Spruce Grove and then got a different vehicle and then left. But by that time we were like a day late. So we got there the day the show actually started.
Oh yeah.
Like that night. Like we got there like I think it was like 3 in the morning we rolled in. And we got in, checked in, went to sleep, woke up and competed.
There you go. So speaking of other Canadians that are out there, Base Girl, she's out
Yes.
there. Stacy, she's been on the show. She's a really good ambassador, and another one. I mean, she's so involved with Danny and his stuff.
Yep.
You got Marissa, not Copeland. It's Marissa O'Brien, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
right, Marissa and Thomas O'Brien. They got that shop up in why, excuse me, Wyoming. Yep.
Yep.
And she built her own car, right? So yeah, that's there are people out there, and it is even if it's in a minor role of just coming to hang out with you at the shows.
That's what I told her.
There's
I said,
so
just
much
come hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
It means a lot, right?
It does. And the thing about having a relationship is there's a thing that psychologists called shared experiences. Whether it's a movie, a car show, or if there's ever an extreme or a memorable moment, if you guys share that, it bonds you in a way that just hanging out doesn't. So it's called a shared experience, and and the more you're together, and the more times you go to extreme things, like if you were to come down to Autorama together and see stuff, or you go to World Finals together, or you go to surf, or you go to Slamology, those shared experiences, be good or bad, bond you in a way that not everything does. Tiffany out of Barbados once again wants to know, say, what did it feel like to win your first championship? Can you describe it?
Oh man. So my first championship that I won, I was 16 at the time.
When and where?
That was when Street X wasn't a thing. It was just extreme. It was extreme 5K and extreme no limit, I believe, at the time.
Okay.
But that was the year I beat Gary Killian, and man, there was so many tears flying around. It was awesome. And so I'm like, it it was just a good experience overall. So I mean, oh, there's so much strategy behind it. So that entire bracket run that I did, I just said I'm just gonna hit it the last 3 seconds, like everything. Just give her full till last 3 seconds on the clock. And the twins, Team Rip Rock, and everyone was like all freaking out. They're like, you gotta put up a number now. And I'm like, it's okay. 3 seconds left, and you just give her, and I got super lucky.
Yeah.
Because that year, so I knew Gary qualified with like a 165.6, I want to say is what he had.
What year was
And I
that?
think 2016
Okay.
or 2016, yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure he qualified like 165.6. My qualifier was like a 164.4. So
Ooh, close.
I got extremely lucky. Last 3 second hit, there's not enough time or system failure. I'm not too sure. I actually forgot to ask him about that, but I'm gonna assume just not enough time. Not enough time to hit it again.
Julius Mac Johnson, Mac Daddy, says, hey, can I get a tip on how you float that 9.99 in Top Dog? He won't tell anyone. He swears.
Uh-oh.
Honestly, it's really just a whole lot of practice. Like I have so many hours into practicing. Actually, it's crazy. I'm sure. I think it was a couple years ago. A couple years ago, we ended up picking up this little two-door hatchback Honda Civic, and one of my coworkers just threw a little system in it. We used it as a little go-getter for the store, and that thing would perfectly ride 119.9 without fail. You would just hit it, play it, and it would just consistently ride 19.9. Would never drop, never go over. It was like a complete miracle. And I used that vehicle. I competed against that vehicle in the store, and I couldn't tell you how many hours I have on that thing. Like, I never beat it, unfortunately, and I'm sad because I'll never get the chance to try. But there's probably 20 some odd hours of me just sitting there running against this vehicle.
That's cool.
That's practice. Huh?
Yep. And then
Practice is perfect.
weird.
And a
practice,
little bit of lady luck. Lady luck is super helpful. I will take a little bit of luck every day.
Oh, and you can't forget the woosah. The
woosah. Yes.
Hey, you know, if you come down to Autorama again next year, and you win your base race class, you can get an opportunity to try and beat the boss. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, man, I was so sad I didn't get to beat the boss in California. We got stormed out. The weather turned bad fast last year.
Oh, did it? I don't. Yeah, I've had some weather really, really, really bad at Autorama. So, but they moved it to the end of May now, and because it's at the end of May instead of it used to be Valentine's weekend. So for 18 years, I didn't have a Valentine's weekend. That made my wife really happy.
Which is probably why she's in the position now of
just despising
over it.
Yeah. And but now it's moved to my grandmother's birthday, which is something I'm gonna have to work out. My grandmother's gone. I mean, she's passed a while ago, but we still usually get together on her birthday in remembrance of her. And here's Team Mini says, try. He says, I got money on G. So he's betting on you over me. That's not a good bet. You don't understand. I live rent free up in his head, Mr. Stefan. I'm up there. I'm so in his head. That little USA thing, dude. That just clears out some room for me to move right in.
Do the woosah and Doug just comes walking in.
That's right. It's just, oh, hey, thanks for moving the furniture. I got room here now. Lewis TVC wants to know, are you doing Top Dog again this year?
Yeah, of course. I always do Top Dog.
Yeah.
Always do Top Dog, always do base race, always do DbDrag. Still just going to do it regardless.
Yep.
Lose.
Team Mini says that's just easy money. Hey, I just jump in a vehicle, doesn't matter whose it is, and I can still base race it. Just saying. I can even base race Jimbo, and I've never even touched it before. I guarantee it.
Once you know and you have your own system,
yep.
If you have 5 minutes with any vehicle, you could probably bang 9.9, 100%.
Yep. Yeah, it's just and like some of these vehicles I jump in, and I'm going, how do they not destroy everybody? I mean, I can't even remember one of the vehicles I jumped in of somebody's. They were all over the place, up and down, and just couldn't figure it out. And I got in theirs, and I held 9.9 for 17 straight seconds. I'm like, how do they not just win? And that's using the boom check, right? Because that's all we use here in California. So we don't use any other songs. I just turn on boom check and just slightly turn, slightly turn, slightly turn. Well, I guess I'm done. and I just let it rip there.
Riding the 9.9 for 17 seconds is like crazy.
Dude, it was absolutely. I wanted to turn it down so bad, but I'm like, why? I got what? So what? I lose $10. Let's see how long this goes. Right?
You might as well, right? Like,
yeah.
Worst comes to worst, you got $10. Yeah.
17 seconds is crazy long. I think Nyman did it for 22 seconds one time.
Wow, that's crazy.
So.
Wow.
But
I couldn't. No way.
Your nerves wouldn't hold it?
Not even just nerves. Like, math just like how right? Like
Yep.
so base race and top dog are an average, right? So
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
on like how are you averaging it out to be a 9.9 for that long without it jumping or dropping, right?
Yep. You need to get
To
a
me, I
That
great
just
whole
start.
shot.
Yep.
That
It's
whole
all about
shot.
the
Yeah.
great shot, the great start.
yeah,
Yeah.
you got to have like a perfect start for something
Yep.
like
No,
that.
Mhm.
no, no. Even if you're close, because it's gonna you're gonna lose those first 2 seconds really quick
Yeah.
if you can get to it in a hurry and hold it. But your problem is if you tie multiple times, like in Top Dog, then that beginning catches up to you. So,
Yep.
do you want to tell anybody your trick, or you want to keep saving that for what you do in ties and Top Dog?
You pretty much gave everybody the information they need to know.
I didn't say nothing.
I'm gonna keep my trade secret, but
Okay.
the information is readily out there to
It is.
have.
I would agree with
So-
that. Tiffany says probably the nerves makes them twitchy and unable to hold the number, and that is true. First time competitor, even some guys that have been competing for a while, they come out and their hands are just vibrating because
Oh, yeah.
it's so. I mean, the adrenaline, the fun is so there. It's an awesome thing to do.
It's a good experience.
Yeah. Are there any tricks or any suggestions to people that may be just starting out base race? Barbados, they're working towards, they bought a meter, so they're starting to teach their local guys how to be competitive. And then, they're trying to bring in the Caribbean to start competing and be involved in Brazil and stuff like that. So they're trying to get all that stuff brought in. So what would your suggestion be to them?
Well, they already are on the right track. They got a meter, right?
Yeah.
I always recommend getting a term lab because it is the most accurate and what we use currently. So you might as
Yep.
well use what we are currently competing with, anyways. But just have fun. Don't get mad about it. You know, it takes some time to figure out everything that needs to happen. So as long as you're having fun, I think you're winning.
So let me read to you my response to her when she said, "Do you have any suggestions?" Oh, the rules are just the guidelines. Ultimately, especially at an event like hers, everybody must have fun.
There you go.
Right? So if you guys are just putting something together to have fun, yeah, the rules are there as guidelines for you guys to understand what to do and what not. But ultimately, if nobody has fun, they don't come back.
Exactly, right? If you're not having fun, then no one wants to come back to do something that they're not enjoying, right?
Yep.
The other thing I would suggest, honestly, as awesome as these super pretty builds are that are fully finished and look like $1,000,000, not every build has to look like that. You could literally go to your local pawn shop, pick up a sub for what do they run for at a pawn shop, like $100?
$100, yeah.
You go pick up an amplifier for another $100.
Prefab sealed box.
Yeah, like as long as you're getting a good monoblock amplifier, you're running correct power wire. I always suggest OFC. OFC is the best. Oxygen-free copper, if you did not know. But just make sure you're running good equipment, and it doesn't have to look like $1,000,000. Just have fun.
Absolutely. And anybody can compete, and just try it. As a store shop, the thing is if you get somebody to try it, there's nobody that I've ever met that says, "Oh yeah, I'm loud enough. I'm good."
Never. So we quite literally use that all the time. I've never once in my life heard somebody say, "I'm loud enough." It's always, "I want to be louder. How can I be louder? How can I be louder than this guy that I'm trying to compete against?" We had a big run of that this year since there were so many shows. Everyone was trying to be super competitive, right? Like.
Yep. SQ Sounds, Tristan says, "Hey, that's great advice." Mac Johnson, he got out his pen and paper. He's going to be taking notes on what we're doing. So, yeah.
But you know what? I think if you
Jeffrey froze on us.
you do all of that, you
Okay.
practice. Bummer. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. I think if you practice, it's still not really going to guarantee things. There's
No.
stuff
There's
that's
never a
always going to happen. I know one of the Texas guys here, we would do like a test and tune, and he would always come, and then he would be like, look. And normally what we do is we'd set up the computer and just let him have at it. He'd run like, maybe hundreds of runs, and he would come to us and say, look, I can do 9.99s and not even touch the head unit. And then, come the showtime, he ends up busting out or something like that. So,
It's
I don't know,
always
you just got
different
to
when
really
you're head to
find it.
head.
Exactly, when you're head to head. So kind of anticipate that as well as,
Hey, Jeffrey, what's that you're wearing, by the way?
It's my new Bucky's hat.
Yeah, that's a turn around real quick. Let's see the backside of that thing.
Oh, turn around?
Yeah, let's see the back of that thing.
Oh.
In case you guys didn't see at World Finals, that was the jackets that they gave the judges and also the competitors. Jimbo there may have gotten one. What was yours for?
I do have one.
Yeah.
So it was the Points Champion Award this year.
Okay,
They were sponsored by DC Audio.
Yep.
I got mine for Top Dog.
Top Dog.
For most points in Top Dog.
Yep. No, that's cool. That's a great. I mean, and like awards like that are awesome. I know your dad makes awards just like I do. So your dad always makes a little something for people at World Finals. I make him some stuff. So that's one thing you guys all miss out by not competing at a World Finals level is there's a lot of little keepsake things that are cool. I mean, like this year was the light up keychain, I think.
Yeah, we brought light up keychains for everybody to take home.
Yep. So, and they said, which ones did they have? Were they DbDrag or were they FX Audio?
So they had a 25th anniversary
Oh, that's right.
DbDrag on it, I believe.
That's right.
And I think at the very bottom there was like FX Audio on it or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean,
I didn't know this year it was a necklace. It was a necklace, right?
Yeah, so it was like a keychain necklace. You would it was an acrylic piece, and it was on a little LED light, and you would click it on, and it would backlight the whole thing. It's on a lanyard, so you could wear it around your neck, or you could put it on a key ring and put it on your keys. Either or.
Yep.
Dealer's choice at that point, really, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we're running up on our hour right now. So, Jeffrey, you want to hit him with the question?
Okay. Jimbo, we ask this question to all of our guests. So basically, we want to know, what is your definition of a bass head?
Oh, man, my definition of a bass head?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Can I give a double answer? Is that allowed?
Sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to hear you from down the block, man. If I don't hear you from down the block, is it really a stereo? Not knocking on any of the small stereos, but like if you're a bass head and you're as committed as the term bass head is, I should hear you from down the block. Secondly, how many subwoofers have you blown up?
Jeffrey can relate to that.
Yeah.
I think
so we got some prerequisites then here for your definition.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, the only way to find out the limit is you have to push your equipment. And if you're not blowing stuff up, or you're not wrecking your car, destroying body panels, whatever it may be, how do you know you're pushing the limit?
TTD, right? Test to destruction.
Yep. Exactly.
That's a manufacturing term, TTD.
I like that. That's awesome.
So I have a limit to how much bass I want in my vehicle, and it's when I don't have to go to the car wash anymore. So until I can shake all the dirt and grime off my car with the bass, I'm still looking for more.
That's awesome. I like that definition. That's good.
So that's what I got for me. So where are people gonna see you, sir? Or where can I get a hold of you? All that stuff.
I do have Facebook. I don't know how to use Facebook. I have Instagram, and that is it.
Okay.
It sounds like a family thing. I think your dad doesn't really partake in Facebook as much as well.
I only got Facebook last year. I got Facebook last year.
Gracie got it for you. No.
Yeah, pretty much. All those guys, all the Tennessee bass racers were like, you have to be on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm going to be on Facebook now. Let's see. What is my Facebook username?
It's the same as what
It's
we
just
got.
Genevei Choy.
Yeah. And
Just
then
Genevei Choy.
yeah, and then what's your you say Twitter?
Instagram.
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 My
Okay.
Instagram is
And was your
Genevei
mom
underscore Choy.
okay, underscore Choy. Now was your mom able to find us this time?
You know what? My mom's actually in where is she? Somewhere in Italy.
Okay.
She's in Italy
Oh.
Well,
right now, so she's probably
we
not
go
watching.
worldwide. So
She might be asleep because I think in Italy they're asleep right now.
yeah, so
Let's see.
Italy, I believe they're 10 hours ahead or 9 hours ahead right now.
Yeah,
So,
so she's
oh yeah, that'd be
probably
way
asleep
early in the morning.
super early in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Because we did Norway, right? We did the one guy from Norway on B2, I think it was, or somewhere up there, and yeah, they were doing the show at like 4 in the morning. So,
4 in the morning.
yeah, when they came on with us, it was 4 in the morning their time, and that was a very similar to what we were talking to with uh, the Greece judge.
Dennis?
Yennis, yeah. Yennis wants to come on, and we'll get to it. But yeah, he's at like he said it's like 4:15 in the morning for him, our time. So or 4:30 in the morning. So so he would have to get up really early to be on the show, and he will eventually.
Yeah.
So it's just cool. Anyway, so they can catch you on Instagram.
Yes.
And see the shows. They can always go to your store, which is what?
FX Audio. F is in Frank, X is in X-ray, 8, and then audio.
Yep, and that's in Spruce Grove, Canada.
Yes, sir.
It's Saskatoon, right? Is that Saskatoon?
Saskatoon's a little bit of a drive, about 8
Oh,
hours, but yes.
it's all
This
the
is
same place.
Same. This is my Instagram right here, and the 2 store numbers if anybody's looking for them.
There it is.
Okay, so just screen capture that and do it,
Yes.
or whatever. Jeffrey, what do you got coming up? I'm looking behind you. I see all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, you mean this stuff?
Yeah,
Not this weekend, but the following weekend.
which would be Thanksgiving, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, so it'll be okay, Thanksgiving weekend. So Thursday you can have all your turkey, you could do your Friday
Black
Black Friday shopping, and then Saturday and Sunday you can come out to Houston, Texas, where our good friend Paul Gaianos here is doing a 2-day audio event. It's billed as the largest pure car audio showcase in Texas. Is what he's throwing. And he's got multiple organizations. He's also doing a demo competition, a structured demo competition. He explained it all on his Facebook. He did
Maybe
a Facebook
we'll try
Live.
and get him on there next week.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Let's
that's
try
a good
for
idea.
him next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's also booked all these like food trucks to be at this event. He's telling me that you got to have this donut burger that they're doing out there. He said it's going to be fun for the whole family. It's got kid stuff. And if you guys, what's on DbDragRacing.com on the calendar, if you guys Google the where it's at, don't be. Oh, it's let me let you know. It's at the Houston Police Academy. so don't fear. You're gonna get busted by the cops if you're doing demos or whatever. They know that's what we're all gonna be there for. So it's gonna feel good. We're gonna have security there, I guess, so to speak. Nothing crazy is gonna happen. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it's gonna be a 2-day event. It's Saturday, November 26th, Sunday, November 27th. The DbDrag part of it is on the DbDrag Racing calendar. We also have a Facebook page, event page on it. You could also check out Audio Olympics. You can check it out here over my shoulder. The Facebook event page, Audio Olympics 2022. And hopefully we'll get Paul on the show here next week and he could explain a little bit more about his show.
Awesome. And for me, we got the Nyman Toys for Tots. Like I said, one of the biggest Toys for Tots anywhere there are in the world. Huge thing. We've gained so much money and so many toys. If you guys are even, I mean, within driving distance and you're comfortable driving, um, please come down and check out this. It's going to be an experience. Santa Claus is there. Mrs. Claus shows up. They go around. They hand out candy canes to people. All the toys and the money and all that stuff goes to a great cause. They do like the Shriners Hospital, so they bring it right into the hospital, give stuff to the kids there. They also go to a battered women's shelter, and kids that are not in a great place in their life right now, they get an opportunity to maybe brighten their day. And that, I mean, so that's one of the really cool things we do. And this is like absolutely one of the my most favorite shows of the year. We go through it pretty quickly. We have a lot of participation. We'll have Bill and Melissa Johnson, for you guys that used to compete 20 years ago. They always show up to the show, and they just come to give toys, which is awesome. Some people, you don't have to compete, but you can come deliver some toys. You guys have thousands upon thousands of dollars invested into your vehicle and your stereo system. What's a $20 toy, right? Unwrapped $20 toy to some kid who might not be having such a great time in their life right now. And it's an opportunity to give back to them and really show them that the car audio community cares about everybody. I know we show our love. Gary Killian's having some issues. We're showing love that way. Nathan Munson having issues. We show love that way. Somebody else's car burnt down. I saw a huge thing. People putting together money to help that guy get his car back together. I mean, we are a generous community, and let's really show that with Toys for Tots this year. I know there's going to be one in Fresno the following weekend after that. And I encourage everybody to participate as much as they can, as often as they can. If you have a little extra, share that with those who don't. With that being said, I'd like to thank our sponsors again: Stolman Transport LLC, Puns Customs out of Michigan, Lots of Watts, Clothing and Apparel, Crossfire Car Audio. Remember, if you get an opportunity, support those who support the things that you guys like. So if you guys are into the show and like the show and appreciative of the show, support the people that support the show to show them that it was worth it to them. Other than that, Jimbo, is great talking to you.
Yes.
All you Canuckians guys, you guys are all always a great time. You guys are always friendly, and if you guys ever get a chance to sit down and talk to him or Ray or Stefan, all the Canadian guys are just they're great people. What's her name? Bass Girl. All those Stacy. Just I have yet to meet a Canadian that wasn't an awesome person. I'm sure they're out there. I've seen movies about the Canadian serial killers.
Oh, no.
But other than that, every Canadian I've ever met in the car audio, I mean, just like in general, most of the people that you meet in the car audio, but they're awesome people. And if you guys get a chance, listen. Don Hebig, we're going to get him on here later on in the month probably. So if you guys want some technical stuff, he wants to talk about lithium batteries and how to set them up properly. So that'd be a good topic. Good technical topic for you guys to want to know. We'll get that out ahead of time. But next week, hopefully, we have the guy from Audio Olympics. And like I said, I had a great time this show. Hope you guys did too. And we will see you guys next week on This Week in Car Audio, 5:30 California time, the only time that matters. Peace. We out.